Today, we're going to lay out a complete blueprint for perimenopause. And this isn't just about getting through the symptoms, right? This is about a real, science-backed strategy for your health long-term.
All right, so let's get right into it. Before we can talk strategy, we have to ask the big question. What is actually going on in your body during perimenopause? Because let me tell you, it's a lot more complicated and honestly, way more fascinating than most people realize.
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the biology. You've probably heard the simple story, right, that your estrogen just tanks, but that's not really the whole picture. The truth is, it's more like a hormonal roller coaster, this totally chaotic sequence of events.
So check this out, because the order here is so important, and it's probably not what you think. See, it's not estrogen that goes first. Nope, the first thing that happens is your progesterone starts to decline. That's when cycles get a little weird. Then comes stage 2, and this is the crazy part. Estradiol, your main estrogen, goes on this wild ride. We're talking huge spikes and then sudden crashes. It's not a gentle decline at all. That steady fall, that only happens way later, leading into menopause. And that volatility, that up and down, that is absolutely key to understanding everything.
And what's the result of all that chaos? Well, it throws your brain's command center, the hypothalamus, completely out of whack. I mean, think of it. This little part of your brain is trying to regulate your body temperature, your mood, your sleep, and it's getting all these scrambled signals. That instability is the direct cause, the root of so many of those symptoms we all know about. The hot flashes, the mood swings, all of it.
But it's not just about the symptoms you feel day to day. As important as those are, there's a bigger story unfolding underneath. These hormonal changes are setting the stage for something much more serious down the road. A sort of hidden acceleration of your risk for chronic disease. And just look at these numbers. This is the stark reality. For most of our lives, women have this amazing built-in protection against heart disease, much more so than men. But after menopause, that risk doesn't just go up, it more than doubles. It's a massive, dramatic shift, and it really shows you just how powerful and protective our hormones were.
So what are we actually losing? I mean, look at this. It is a lot. We tend to think of estrogen as just a sex hormone, but it's so much more. It's like this master regulator for our entire body. It was helping keep our blood vessels flexible. It was helping us manage blood sugar. It was keeping a lid on inflammation. It was even powering our cells. So when that protective shield goes away, suddenly the door is wide open for things like high blood pressure, diabetes, joint issues, you name it.
Okay, so we're dealing with two things at once, right? The symptoms that are making you miserable right now and this long-term health risk that's building up. So it makes sense that we need a two-phase strategy. Let's start with phase 1. This is all about calming the storm, getting those immediate disruptive symptoms under control.
And the game plan here is to use what we can call a neuroendocrine stabilizing stack. Sounds fancy, but it's really a specific team of 3 compounds working together. A very particular extract of black cohosh, resveratrol, and carnosic acid. And believe me, this isn't just a random mix of herbs. They were picked to do a very specific job.
And what's that job? Well, it's to go right back to the source of the problem we talked about, that instability in the brain's command center. This stack is designed to get to the neurological root of things like hot flashes, terrible sleep, anxiety, and that feeling of brain fog. It's all about helping to stabilize the brain's signaling while all that hormonal chaos is going on.
Now, this is a really important point about how this works, because a lot of people might assume it's just another plant estrogen, but it's not. Research on this specific black cohosh extract shows it works centrally, in the brain. It's acting on the hypothalamus and on serotonin pathways. It is not working like estrogen.
And that's a huge distinction when it comes to safety, right? It's super effective at helping with symptoms, but there's no good evidence that this extract actually latches onto estrogen receptors. That means it doesn't carry the risks associated with stimulating tissue growth. So basically, it calms the storm without pretending to be a hormone.
So let's just quickly recap the big picture. We've got 2 clear strategies. Phase 1 is symptom control. I love this analogy. It's like we're calming a storm in the control tower, which is your brain. But once that immediate crisis is handled, it's time for phase 2. This is all about modifying your long-term disease risk. It's like reinforcing the foundations of the entire city, your body.
All right, let's get into phase 2, reinforcing the foundations. This is the part I get really excited about because it's so proactive. This is where we look to the future and actively protect ourselves against that scary acceleration in chronic disease risk that we saw earlier. So, at the heart of this phase is another targeted team, the chronic protection stack. And again, it's 3 superstar compounds, but this time in their high bioavailability forms, which is key. We're talking sulforaphane, curcumin, and berberine. And just like before, each one has been chosen for a very specific reason to step in and do the jobs that our hormones used to do for us.
Okay, get ready, because this right here, this is the aha moment. This is where it all clicks. This chart maps out exactly how we replace what was lost. Remember how estrogen supported our cells' energy factories? Well, sulforaphane and resveratrol step in to help with that. Remember how it protected our blood vessels? Sulforaphane and curcumin have got our back. And that loss of insulin sensitivity? Berberine is an absolute powerhouse for that. See? This isn't just about covering up symptoms. This is about a targeted, strategic replacement of critical biological functions.
So, to put it simply, what this Phase 2 stack does is go straight to the root of the problem. It's targeting the 4 fundamental pillars of health that start to crumble after menopause: your metabolism, your blood vessels, your cellular energy, and inflammation.
But wait, there's more. What if we could take this whole strategy and just supercharge it? There's one more layer we can add on top. Think of it as an amplifier, something that boosts resilience through your entire system. And that amplifier is something called N-acetylcysteine, or just NAC. The best way to think about it is like adding a layer of reinforcement to everything. Its main job is to crank up production of glutathione, which is basically your body's master antioxidant. This gives you this really deep cellular level resilience to stress. And here's where the magic of synergy comes in, especially with the sulforaphane from our Phase 2 stack. It's a perfect 1-2 punch. Sulforaphane is like the foreman who goes into the factory and flips on all the switches for your antioxidant and detox systems. But you can't run a factory without raw materials, right? Well, NAC is the delivery truck that brings the most important raw material, cysteine, right to the factory door. Together, they're not just a little better, they're way more powerful.
Okay, so let's put it all together. Here's the complete blueprint. Phase 1, stabilize the now. We use that first stack with black cohosh to get you through the turbulence and manage symptoms. Phase 2, protect the future. We bring in the second stack, sulforaphane, curcumin, berberine, to replace those lost protections and lower your long-term disease risk. And then, if you want to take it to the next level, you amplify it all. You add in NAC to build that deep system-wide resilience. So I want to leave you with this final thought. For so long, this whole transition has been framed as just a decline, something to be endured. But what if that's totally wrong? With this new understanding of what's really happening and with a smart, targeted strategy, what if this transition is actually your greatest opportunity? A moment where you can consciously take the wheel and build a foundation for incredible, resilient health for the rest of your life.